Spikes are not unusual and come up naturally during other Scrum activities. Here we see we have not finished user 10. In fact, it's blocked. If we look at the task to find out why it's blocked, we see here in progress that returning a confirmation of an error to the database delete transaction is in progress. And also, related to that, is the testing of that. The QA cannot test the errors. Well, what happened was the developer wasn't quite sure how to do this. So he went to the product owner, and they had a discussion which immediately brought up all kinds of other questions, like internationalization concerns. And so the product owner started a discussion needing an error reporting strategy. It became apparent that the team needed to discuss the issue and come up with a holistic approach to handling errors. Our GUI developer here suggested creation of a Spike backlog item to research the issue and come up with a strategy. And we can see if we look at the backlog that the product owner did create a Spike user story and put it at the very top of the list as highest priority. This is appropriate since user story 10 in our sprint cannot be considered done until we know how to display the errors. So it is blocked, and any other user story will be blocked as well that needs to deal with errors. So there are a few important things to remember about spikes. First, they are for researching, learning, and discovery. Even if a prototype is created, it's meant to be thrown away. The spike is not meant to implement any completed work for the product increment. And as such, spikes do not have user story points. We can see down here we have 0 points. And they do not count toward the team's velocity. This sets them an error to grief ratio, as the time spent on the spike during the sprint will not be spent finishing work and achieving velocity points. The time instead will be counted as if the team members working on the spike were out of the office. Next, the spike must have clear objectives and an outcome. Here our spike has a clear objective, stating the issue we are addressing. This includes questions, which are showing the knowledge we are trying to gain. And we can see during coming up with these questions, when we talked about logging errors, we thought, well, we might need a spike for logging in general. So here another spike has come up that might be a lower priority. And the outcome is stated for a holistic strategy and overall system design to handle and report errors. Now, being exact on a spike's objective and outcomes keeps the team from investigating related issues that might be fun, but aren't relevant to the spike's objective. And the spike should be time-boxed, so work does not drag on indefinitely. Now, the spike should never take more than one sprint to complete, and often are time-boxed for shorter durations, like a day. You can see here, our spike has been time-boxed for 2 developers, 1 day each, working together to come up with the strategy. The team should have just enough time to get the knowledge required and put it to use to produce the outcomes in the spike. Now, some indications that a team needs a spike is if they're having trouble estimating a user story. It could mean that they need more information to understand the technical implications. Spikes can also be used to clean up technical debt that's crept into the software. Some indication of technical debt is the team assigning very high user story points to something the product owner sees as simple, or the team's velocity steadily decreasing over time as they try to work around the problem code. A team's velocity should increase over time as the team learns to work together efficiently and honor their commitments. Additionally, the team could identify a problem area at the team's retrospective meeting and request a spike to investigate or clean up the problem code.